If you want to know the history of your town, this is where you come, because quite literally, the history is written in granite and stone. Right back in the day when the cemetery first opened, the interest was phenomenal. People would actually come and promenade like they would in Brighton, up and down here on a Sunday in the best. Families would come and picnic, and they'd come and see the latest monuments, because these were the people that they knew, the great and the good, the wool barons of Bradford, that were dying and then representing their wealth in death.
Bradford looks beautiful today, but would we be able to see this far back in Victorian times?
How times change, eh? Back then, you'd have been looking over a sea of dark satanic mills, chimneys spewing out smoke, the smog settling. It would have been a completely, utterly different landscape to what you could possibly imagine now. And of course, on top of that, you would have the living conditions of the workers living in abject poverty, living in small back-to-backs. And these cottages, they lack sanitation, they lack ventilation, the conditions were absolutely dire, which promoted things like typhoid, scarlet fever, all these different diseases.
So Mark's told me he's managed to track down one of my ancestors who is buried somewhere in this cemetery. It's interesting how, like, as you go further up from near the promenade, really, really rich graves, and down here it's a lot more overgrown and it's all kind of crumbling. But, you know, shows that clearly my family went from a lot of money.
Right, Alex, so from the information you've given me, I've managed to find one grave, and it relates to the one that James Cahill paid for the burial of Elizabeth Celia, and that was on the 21st of December 1889.
1889.
Right, so it's an absolute wilderness. There are very few gravestones. See, this is Q section. This is where she is.
Is this the really poor section?
Right, look, we've got another number here.
Q441, which means that hopefully 442 is somewhere around here.
You're quite literally there. It's there.
This side?
There. Yeah, that's it.
Right.
That is it.
Wow.
No marker.
That's kind of sad that there's no gravestone, but I feel more connected to, like, you know, my family from, you know, the 1800s. I just wish there was something more permanent as a marker there.
The Travel Show, your essential guide wherever you're heading. Every weekend on BBC News.